Folks, welcome to Guardsman Gaming! Do you know what time it is? It's time for a Jove vs. Burmie Smackdown, that's what it is time for. So we have got a game between Jove and Burmie. This should be... I got it wrong. it's Jove and Burmie, not vice versa. So that means Burmie is playing OKW. I prefer him playing USF, it's much funnier. But yes, so he is playing the OKW, a very, very strong faction right now. Though it is suffering in ways from its removal of the glorious Kubelwagen suppression. Though it has got the much stronger Blitzkrieg of capping the entire map within 10 seconds. Ability that makes a lot of players very sad. So the MP44 equipped Storm Pioneers are getting in the building. That will force the engineers back slightly. Engineers will be able to cap, I hope. Them getting first off this early could be bad, but Burmie is going very heavily onto the flanks, avoiding the center, which is allowing Jove to leapfrog cover to cover to the mid VP. I don't know why you would bother putting the conscript sandbag fighting position there, like that close, because there is still heavy cover on this side. Like the flanks you can still use for heavy cover. It's not like the sandbags of the Volksgrenadier and Riflemen. But we do see the M1910 Maxim heavy machine gun forcing the Strum Pioneers off. So that is a support weapons company. Very standard choice. I mean, the other one, the Special Rifle Command, I keep forgetting its name because nobody uses it. The Special Rifle Command really only provides snipers now. Panels are no longer as good as they used to be, and the Clown Car panel combo is pathetic. But we are seeing Jove go for the cutoff here. Very nice. He will eventually get forced off, but if he can just get the cap on and then hold it off for a couple of seconds, really, every second counts, and he's oorahing away. Is he going to go for the straight for the fuel? It wouldn't be a bad idea, actually, because it's not like the Volksgrenadiers can really support the Strum Pioneers. Strum Pioneers should force the... They might take too much damage while they're closing. I think maybe a premature retreat. Yes, never mind. The Volksgrenadiers were on the flank. That will force the conscripts off. And, I mean, the map is chaotically split, but it is split in Burmie's favor. Burmie does hold the majority of fuel, the majority of the munitions points. I mean, he's doing quite well for himself. He will lose the northern munitions points. We are seeing a very early mine come out in an okay position. I don't really agree with that position. Jove placing it there? I mean, I don't really see how that's gonna get squad wipes. Let's just put it at that. Something around corners are usually a bit more useful. I would actually have preferred it to be around here. That would be an infinitely better position. Oh well. We are seeing, though, Jove push back. He's trying to take more of the map. That early cutoff did hold Burmie back slightly, but I mean, resources are relatively evenly split, at least when it comes to fuel, but no, Burmie's still got the advantage here, and Jove isn't really managing to take the map. He does keep going for this cutoff point, though, which is very, very smart. I mean, we are seeing a lot of Burmese forces just held back doing nothing, even though they're ready for combat duty. So a bit of a micro... Whoa, excuse me there. A bit of a micro fail there. Speaking of micro fails, we are seeing the... Smooth segue. Speaking of micro fails, we did see the conscripts stay in the red cover a bit too long, falling back into the heavy cover, but the Volksgrenadiers are on the flank of the conscripts, negating that cover. yeah, conscripts are forced off by 2 squads of Volksgrenadiers. Cutoff point will be resecured, but we are seeing the Volksgrenadiers up top go for the fuel cutoff. It will not succeed because luckily Jove has placed a M1910 Maxim heavy machine gun to cover this position. Whoa. I don't know why, but my throat is very, very weird. Okay. It's very, very parched, I think. But yeah, so we are seeing Jove hold center quite nicely, but the thing is, like most good maps, center doesn't really give you resources, which is allowing Burmie to at least hold a slight now resource advantage. We are seeing double incendiary grenades, very nice, very well timed, but luckily, you know, Jove is a master of the game. It does show in his plays, and he dodged both of them successfully with apparent ease, though the M1910 might get flanked here, will have to pull back slightly. Ooh. I don't really see a way for the Volksgrenadiers to really make a play that works. I mean, an incendiary grenade wouldn't have helped there, so maybe backing off was the right idea, but let's just take a moment and look at the build composition. So we are seeing a relatively balanced build for Jove. He's got 2 machine guns, 3 conscript squads, and an engineer squad. Meanwhile, we are seeing a very, very infantry-heavy play from Burmie. We haven't seen a single Kubel. Ooh, he can get a Panzer II out if he wishes. Whoa, what is with my throat today? My lord. That's really weird. I can't seem to talk for too long before I get an irritation in my throat. But we are seeing hit the dirt because Jove has gone guard rifle combined arms tactics. That's a long one. Guard rifle combined arms tactics. But yeah, so hit the dirt does come out. Very good ability. We'll see the conscripts last a little longer than they otherwise would. They get a bit of protection. I don't know exactly how much, but it's enough that they don't really need to worry about the, what do you call it, Volksgrenadiers. The words. I'm choking on words. Anyway, Panzer II hits the field. This is actually a very good choice from Burmie. I mean, Jove really doesn't have anything. He hasn't even researched AT grenades. It really comes down to how well Burmie can take advantage of the Panzer II. I'd like to see it really be used aggressively to push Burmie off the field and really allow him to cement an advantage. Oh no! Why did... There's only one door on the building and it clumped them all up. Oh, he could lose an MG here, and the Maxim, unlike the MG42, does not have the powers of teleportation. But, yeah, it goes down. Do we have AT grenades yet? No, we do not. And has he researched that? No, he wasn't even researching them. The URA was just a preemptive to try and force Burmie to back off, maybe scare him a bit, but Burmie really didn't care. And that's really put Jove at a disadvantage. We'll see potentially the MG captured, no? Oh, he does need that MG in my opinion, and that MG would be very nice. I mean, it would allow him to hold down the northern flank. You chuck the MG in this building, and all of a sudden Jove has a problem he has to deal with. As long as that MG is independent and potentially recapturable by Jove, Burmie could have a bit of a problem. Ooh, he needs to retreat that. Ooh, he needs to retreat his squads. He might even lose the MG straight away. And I mean, he got the cutoff, sure, but the cutoff doesn't really achieve very much in the overall strategy of the game as much as an MG will. And that will force another Volksgrenadier off the map. I mean, he's going to shoot at the support weapons company with the Panzer II. Panzer II does not do that much damage to buildings. T-70 will come out before the Panzer II can really do anything to this building, so... Yes. Should be interesting. Surprisingly, the only thing he can really do is grab a Panzer T-70 in his mind. I mean, personally, I would probably go for the Su-76. I mean, I don't know. He's got infantry to deal with the AT gun, I guess, but... The Panzer II does have very high damage to a T-70 last time I checked on the flank. Meanwhile, T-70 does. Ooh, but... If he gets on the flank of the T-70 would get wrecked, but instead he backs off. I mean, look at the damage from a front-on engagement. The T-70 is on about a fifth of its health, while the Panzer II is on a sixth. So really it would have come down to the support, and I don't really think there was much to support if he had pulled back this way. Still no AT grenades. Yeah, there was no support on the flank. But instead deciding to go cautious, and that's kind of indicative of how this game is going to play out. I mean, the thing is with Burmie and Jove is they either go very aggressive on each other and play a very, very, very quick game, but most of the time they play very cautiously around each other. They both know each other is very dangerous, and because of that, we see a bit of a dance of death. They both want to try and make moves, and the other just blocks it with a counter move. Now, bear in mind the Panzer II is at Vet 1 and is already at full health. The T-70 is not yet at full health. I do think the T-70 was a mistake. I personally think a Su-76 would be a better choice. I mean, just look at the damage. I mean, of course, the damage to the Panzer II will increase if Burmie is showing his side armor and rear armor to the T-70 light tank. Panzer II ricochets a shot. Conscript should win this. I mean, the thing is, the T-70 can't really advance too aggressively lest it gets hit with a Panzer Shrek, which would give the advantage definitely to the Panzer II. Panzer II does force off the guard unit. The guard unit stands no chance against a Panzer II, even with their PTRSs. PTRSs aren't doom machines if they're used on their own. Hits a mine, luckily escapes because he does... Burmie is playing cautiously, he doesn't want to get in too deep. You never know what might be lurking in the Ruski rear lines, especially the AT snares potential from the conscript squad. But the conscripts aren't upgraded with it. Just keep that in mind, that we know something that Burmie doesn't. Now the Raketenwerfer is a dangerous thing here, but... Where is that? Ooh, key. Where is that coming from? Was that the T-70? I've never seen a T-70 do that much to a Panzer II that quickly. I mean, yeah, well, trust it was side armor, but... Very interesting. But I guess the thing is, the T-70 keeps catching the Panzer II's side armor. The Panzer II isn't catching the T-70's side armor. So Jove is really using his T-70 in a much superior manner to Burmie. Burmie actually not cancelling his incendiary grenades there. A bit of a micro-fail. He should have cancelled that as soon as he saw the retreat. We are seeing the MG in center really hamper Burmie's ability. Jove is really holding center and not letting go. I mean, it is resulting in his flanks being a bit weak, and Burmie is holding the economic advantage almost consistently. Every single time I check on it, it seems that Burmie is just holding on and not letting go to that limited advantage. Panzer II, again, engaging. I mean, the Panzer II is relatively evenly matched. They both are soft counters to each other. The Su-76 would have hard countered the Panzer II, especially if backed up with some conscripts. Especially if the conscripts were upgraded. But we are seeing a soft counter to another soft counter to the Panzer II in the form of an AT gun. Why I say it's a soft counter is, as long as it's not backed up with... but we have seen the snares. Because if you have infantry without the snares, the Panzer II can just circle around the unsupported AT gun. I mean, I should clarify, I define a soft counter as something which can, which has an advantage in certain situations over another unit, which I guess is very broad, but I'm arbitrary, deal with it. A hard counter, in my opinion, is something which will win nearly all the time, as long as it's not used incredibly stupidly. Like, say, a King Tiger, one-on-one, 90% of the time should win a Sherman, and so it hard counters a Sherman. I'm not saying a Sherman can't beat a King Tiger, but under certain circumstances, it can. It's a soft counter, in a way, to the King Tiger. I mean, disagree with that if you want. I mean, it's probably, everyone does it their own way, and probably it isn't the most correct, but it's how I see it, so sue me. But we are seeing the conscripts advance. We are seeing the German line be broken here on the left. Still no commander coming out from Burmie. I think that MG is rather screwed unless they can find some reinforcements. I mean, there's nothing on the retreat path to really... Never mind, screw the retreat path. The T-70 just destroyed the building, so he decided that it was better to lose the machine gun than potentially give it back, which is a very valid choice. But now look at the map control potential. The infantry advantage is definitely in Jove's favor, so we should see the game switch economically back into Jove's court. Now, why isn't this happening? Perhaps because he's got so many units in his base, only just starting to move them out. He's lost the fuel, which is putting Burmie in a significantly stronger position. I mean, when we look at late game, Jove doesn't have that great a late game. He's got no late game armor, which is something the Soviets could benefit from, especially in their doctorate. And IS-2 or even the T-34-85s are good things, especially against OKW in a long drawn-out game like the ones Jove and Burmie sometimes fight. Well, more often than not fight, at least the ones which are uploaded. You know, we see a lot of late game armor. Frag grenade, very smart. Something people don't realize is that if you stay in heavy cover, it's actually smarter occasionally than dodging, especially when red cover's nearby, because that will still negate explosive damage by 50%. Meanwhile, up here, Panzer II and the T-70 continue their beautiful dance around each other. Oh my god, that poor engineer. Cops a 20mm round to the face. But yes. I don't know. Burmie definitely is not in a weak position. He's lost a machine gun, which, to be honest, he captured. That mine was triggered. Mortar, interesting choice. I don't really agree with getting a mortar this late into the game. I never really agree with getting a mortar to begin with, but I don't know. To each his own. I mean, he's got the combo potential with the MGs, but it's an 82mm mortar. It's not particularly effective, even with MGs to suppress. He might need it for clearing potential, perhaps? Though he could, if he needs it that badly for clearing, just use his tank. Oh no! Where did it go down? It went down over here, so that position has been mined by Burmie a lot. Not just in this game, but in nearly every single game on this map I've watched him play. He drops at least one mine there. The fact that Jove ran into that again, I mean, it's, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And he just drove right into that, so that's definitely shame on Jove. He definitely should have known better there. That does leave Burmie with the only tank on the field, and it's starting to rack up kills. I mean, we are seeing it on 28 infantry kills. It's doing its job quite nicely. It keeps rotating around this AT gun, which, mind you, is now protected because of the conscript infantry squads. He does need to be careful. It will get caught out here by the AT grenades. No, just getting out of its radius before it could do something scary. So there is the mortar. About exactly has he placed it. He's placed it in a very forward position, actually. Though it will benefit from better accuracy if it's closer to the front line. Yeah. Meanwhile, engagement happening up north. Ubersoldaten hitting the field. Do we have Special Forces Commander? 9. So we won't be seeing any super Ubersoldaten. Oh no. Rakettenwerfer is going down. So Burmie's lost his support, losing his support weapons a lot, but he's replacing the Rakettenwerfer with a Ubersoldaten squad. Meanwhile, we got a second AT. Oh no, that's the Raketen I'm mistaking for some reason. I mistook it for a Zisgun for some reason. Huh. Flamethrower equipped infantry will beat the Ubersoldaten. Ubersoldaten really should consider falling back here before unlucky flame crit burns them to a crisp. Very lucky. Oh boy. Hit the dirt conscripts versus OKW Strum Pioneers in heavy cover. Yeah. OKW will usually win that because MP44s are crazy. Especially at that range. I mean, yeah, it was under strength, I guess, but when it comes to Strum Pioneers, it's better to overestimate their ability than underestimate it, as I've found out. But this Panzer II is really roaming uncontested throughout the battlefield. I don't know what Jove is saving for. He's got no late game call-ins, so I mean the excessive fuel is excessive. Incendiary grenade going out on the mortar may pick off 3 or 4 models, maybe. It's not as OP as it used to be. Cadian, you need to remember it's not an I win button anymore. Huh. I was expecting at least a model drop. It's very surprising that it did. Undamaged, I guess. But, so what is Burmie planning on doing? Maybe he is planning to save up for a Kongstiger. Highly likely, he's got all the buildings. He'll soon have the fuel. I mean, he's not really in a position where he desperately needs another tank. He's still got his Panzer II to deal with the Soviet infantry. Could get caught out by a snare here. Ooh, any follow-up though? No, AT gun is really far back. He could have gotten lucky if it had delayed a bit. Just look at this is Burmie is just he's doing very well at holding the fuel points at least. But incendiary grenade, yes, comrade, retreat into the fire. But yeah, incendiary grenade pops on the guards, does a bit of damage and forces them off along with rifle fire. Ubersoldaten will not be able to deal with all this. But there is a flanking Ubersoldaten as well as a flanking Grenadier blob. Oh, damn, that's why mortars can potentially be good. They killed 2 models there. No, 3 models, so it's all of its kills came from that one attack. Oh, that was pretty funny. Blob and machine gun. See, the only time mortars are really good, in my opinion, is machine gun mortar combos, but even then, I don't really think it's going to do too well. Oh, lord. Pyrotechnics display is going on here. He does need to get that squad out of there. Potentially could have lost the squad if the Panzer II had been aggressive. Luckily, Burmie, I mean, he's playing cautiously. I mean, he doesn't know where the AT guns are, and so he's deciding to hold back his aggression. At least that's what I think. Very risky rotation, actually. But he does need to deny as much fuel to Jove as possible. But we do see the T-34-85. Not 85, Cadian. T-34-76. Lordy, lordy. It's on the prowl. It wants that Panzer II. It desperately wants that Panzer II. It also wants to get mined. So, it's got a damaged engine. Misses the Panzer II. That was lucky. Ah. The Kongstiger, the Tiger II, has hit the field, along with Cadian's bad German impersonations. I will always do my bad German impersonations. Just like this Kettenwerfer seems to be doomed to being decrewed. Oh lord, that almost killed the Panzer II. Guard squad. When supported, AT guns and guards are very deadly. Because, I mean, when supported with the conscripts, the Panzer II can't really risk pushing them because it could potentially get snared. But the Kongstiger has hit the field, which means he can brute force the entire Russian army here. This is the power of the King Tiger and why you cannot allow an OKW to gain too much of a footing. He can brute force this. He doesn't even need to, if he focuses on the AT gun, he'll be fine. Unless it misses. Hopefully this squad comes in on the flank. Where's the other AT gun? Oh no, the captured Raketten's over here now. So, never mind, that is only that AT gun. Could get the wipe off here? Not quite. How aggressively he wants to play this. It all comes down to how aggressively he wants to play this. He can potentially put, what's his name? Jove at a critical disadvantage here. It all just comes down to how well he guards his flanks and how well he just pushes and protects his... Ooh, no, this could be a snare. A snare here would not be good. I mean, it's not terrible, don't get me wrong. But it's not what he wants. I mean, there's no Su-85 or Su-76s on the flanks to really take advantage of this. There's nothing really to take advantage of the crippled Kongstiger besides he doesn't lose his army. The mortar's actually starting to do work now. Still not a great choice. It may even be decrewed if these Ubersoldaten keep playing aggressively, which they're not. They're going to instead sit back and employ defensively. But yeah, we will see a pushback from Jove. Jove does have much more infantry than Burmie. Burmie lost a Volksgrenadier squad. He has had to rebuild it. And he's not really in the best of positions, to be completely honest. I mean, economically now, he still holds a slight advantage, but he doesn't have the fuel points. So, bear that in mind. He's still not at full pop cap. In fact, pop cap is relatively even. That's a very risky thing to do with your Panzer II. I mean, it's snared now. Or it's dead now. Kongstiger is nowhere to be seen. So, there goes the Panzer II. That was a very big waste for the Panzer II, to be honest. I have no idea what Burmie was thinking. I mean, he doesn't have... He's not at the pop cap to justify throwing away a Panzer II, even. So I have no idea why he did that. He's nowhere near with a pop cap. 73? Please. He'd be at around 79 because of the Volksgrenadier squad. But really, he's nowhere near in a position to be throwing away a Panzer II yet. Maybe when he's got enough to get a Panther, but even then, a Panzer II is a very, very good anti-infantry tank. I'm guessing another mine goes off here and forces Jove off. Jove really should invest in some minesweepers. He has minesweepers, they're just not enough. Oh, no, 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 no! Lucky if that had been a center shot. The Kongstiger is a fearsome foe. Already 11 kills. Getting the Pintle mount now. That will increase its anti-infantry power. It's already crazy anti-infantry power. That will be irritating. The feels. Kongstiger heading down south. We have seen the AT gun set up. It's already at Vet 2. Vet 3, I think, is where it becomes the rate of fire and penetration craziness machine it always dreamed of being. He's hiding his conscripts there. I'm guessing he's waiting for his AT gun to move up, and then he'll try and go for the snare. I just love how the King Tiger just picks off a model with every shot. It's beautiful. Economically, Burmie holds the game. I'm really wanting to see what... Ooh, this could be bad for Burmie. No. Ooh, RNG's is kind. But I'm really interested to see what his plan is. I mean, he seems to be going for middle VP and bottom VP, but he's also attacking top, so he's trying... I think he's just trying for a total map dominance, which is hard now that he's lost his Panzer II, and now that there's an Su-85 on the field, the King Tiger can't be used as aggressively. What I'd like to see from Jove is maybe some mines, if he can get field presence. Just hold field presence for a long period of time. The ricochet's real. You really want to try and get that Su-76, not Su-85 around here on the flank of the King Tiger. Oh my lord, King Tiger! You are a crazy man. You love killing lots and lots of people. I mean, honestly, Jove could just be content with holding the flanks. It's something he quite easily could achieve, to be honest. He has the infantry advantage quite strongly. He has the support weapons that if he just consolidated onto the flanks, he could do some real damage. He may actually lose this gun here. He does need to retreat it immediately. He does. Spot on. That's exactly what he needs to do. Pathfinding fails and makes them run towards the enemy for some reason. Though it should be of no consequence, there is a T-34-85 nearby, hedging his bets by moving in some armor. King Tiger is forced back to repair temporarily, putting out the scratches in the paintwork. I'd like to see a bit more infantry from Burmie. Panzer IV, not a bad choice. He does need some anti-infantry firepower. A Panther would not be a good choice in my opinion, simply because the King Tiger does the job of the Panther and Panzer IV, though it's slow. Panther is fast, but it's not general purpose enough. Dealing with enemy armor is not something that really has to be done at the moment. Dealing with the Russian infantry advantage is vital. I mean, as long as he can hold the infantry off, Burmie can capture both north and south. I mean, the infantry is what captures points after all. No idea what this squad is trying to do. That was a bit of a fail there. I don't know, again, I don't know why he pulled the King Tiger, but maybe for repairs, but he's losing prime opportunities to really cement a consistent lead. I mean, understandably, it is a matchup between Jove and Burmie, which usually results in very cautious plays being made. You should get away. Spick and span. It has been a very cautious game. A lot of cutoffs, but I actually think this is the first time during the game I have looked down and seen Jove with a map and economic advantage. Whether he'll retain this now that the Panzer IV is on the field has yet to be seen. Now, I mean, Burmie is very, very good with... He was very good with his Panzer II micro, so if he can translate that into a very good plays with his Panzer IV, keep his Panzer IV micro up, I do believe we will see him retake north and south. South and mid. North, if he really wants, he could send the Panzer IV there, but it really depends on whether he wants to, you know, risk going north, which is harder to rotate to from mid, or whether he wants to go south. See, south into north and north into south is actually relatively easy to hold because they are very open, they're very easy to transition into one another, especially for something slow like the King Tiger. Problem with up north is there's a lot of shot blockers, meaning the King Tiger can't really take advantage of its range. T-34s can use their speed to duck in and out of cover, and it's not really prime German armor territory. especially if the German player is trying to rule both VPs, because he's not going to succeed. I love the King Tiger. He's not going to succeed holding this VP and this VP, especially when it's further away. Like, this mid VP and north VP is further away, or at least feels further away than this VP and this VP. Maybe it's just me, but to me it really, really does feel that way. I mean, obviously he does need to harass up north, because giving Jove ammunition, any munitions will eventually translate into more grenades thrown down, and more Stromovic attacks, more annoying snares, more mines. You do need to deny the munitions at the very least, and that's why it's been contested by the infantry so heavily. T-34 is engaging a Ubersoldaten. Ubersoldaten will retreat. Panzer IV ricocheting on the T-34. Panzer IV going in on the T-34. It's got to be careful here. There is an AT gun. Yeah, very cautious and very smart, hanging back. I mean, the thing is, caution is a double-edged sword. I mean, it can cost you the initiative. It can make you extend the game longer than you need to, but on the other hand, it can save you vehicles. So you can't just say, well, oh, I wish Burmie would just close this game, charge with his armor like earlier when he had that advantage. It's easy to say he should do that, but bear in mind, it could just as easily lost him his King Tiger. He doesn't know what's on the field. There could have been multiple AT guns. He didn't know that it was just a crippled T-34 and a single AT gun. I mean, he didn't know that most of Jove's army was repairing and, rebuilding. And if he was caught out by a mine, that could have seen his King Tiger be destroyed by that T-34, crippled T-34 and lone AT gun. So, yeah. Ooh, but speaking of, we will see things potentially go down. Here we go. Major happenings going on, but the mine might force the T-34 is being forced off by the mine. AT gun moving up. Might get a shot or two. Shot in. Ricochets off the armor. King Tiger is forced to come down. Never mind, King Tiger is forced to stay in mid by an attack here. One thing I do not like about the Raketen is its ability to stealth cap. I do believe that gives it too much utility, but... oh, that was very unlucky. Very unlucky on Burmie's part. It was almost very unlucky on Jove's part, but the machine gun at max range snipes off the second model, causing the last model to retreat, which puts him in a very strong position if he can hold mid-VP long enough for or at least hold this unit off, recapping that gun long enough for him to get some units there. I mean, if the Russians can capture a Raketenwerfer and use it against the King Tiger Panzer IV, they'll be in a strong position. I mean, they got 2 AT guns already. A third would just cement their ability to deal with the German armor. Panzer IV is in a very precarious position. It will probably go down here. AT grenade destroys it. Unfortunately, the AT gun is down, so the T-34 can't go for the flank into the rear armor of the Kongstiger. Conscripts will be forced to retreat, and I think the King Tiger... ooh, the King Tiger decides to play it safely. Very apt. You just look at what's available to Burmie to protect the King Tiger should it get caught out. You do need to understand that he couldn't make an aggressive play to destroy this AT gun. He doesn't know what's here. He doesn't know it's empty. For all he knows, there could be an Su-85 here. There could be a conscript hiding behind the building to just jump out and snare it. I mean, he doesn't know that he can just drive up and destroy it. So it's very smart that he pulled back when he had no infantry to back it up. And now his infantry is reinforced. I mean, he's losing squads left, right, and center. Bear that in mind. He's down to one of his original Volksgrenadier squads. So he's not in a good spot. He's doing a good job of keeping the Ubersoldaten alive, at least. Which is nice, but he does need the Volksgrenadiers to provide him some AT. And the decisive infantry advantage Jove is gaining by preserving his infantry is just... oh! It's beautiful. Su-85 decides to back off. Tracking is so useless. tracking, at least on this. It would be better if its vehicles can be tracked through the fog of war on the mini-map. That would be beautiful, because it's a tank destroyer, but whatever. But we are seeing focus sight. I just love it's like, significantly increases sight radius, gives it more sight range. Yeah, sight! I think it actually has, like, really good sight range when you pop both abilities, but I wish that was just see vehicles through. I mean, it might be overpowered, but it would be so beautiful. I mean, the Soviets do have the weakest tank, so why not give them an overpowered tank destroyer? They have the weakest tank, says Cadian, as it absolutely crushes the soft counter. Oh, it literally crushed that unit beneath its iron treads. Stalinium armor for the win. It might even go for a second victim, and that's all of Burmie's original veterancy squad, so he can just keep dancing over the Shrek and... Oh, Jesus, I love crushing. Moments like that is when people are like, I bloody hate crushing, I want it removed from the game, and I'm like, you what, mate? Screw you for thinking that that is bad gameplay. That's fantastic gameplay. It's entertaining gameplay. A bit off topic from the game, but I mean, moments like that is what makes watching Company of Heroes fun. I mean, if it was all seriousness and all 100%, you know, you see this play here, it can be analyzed and deconstructed in 100 ways, and there is no other way to play the game but seriously by building hard counters, rock, paper, scissors style, then it would just be a boring game to watch. I mean, moments like that where a T-34, which should not be that effective against infantry, manages to, by just sheer audacity of charging it at an infantry unit, and that is fantastic. I love it. It's just beautiful. It's the best. I'm emphasizing words with dramatic pauses before I say them. I'm taking the piss here. But I do love crushing, and I do love gameplay like that, and it makes me sad when people push to get rid of that. But yeah, so Burmie's in a pretty shitty spot right now. Jove is really hammering it to him. I mean, he held the economic advantage for most of the game. Hell, he still technically holds the economic advantage. But he's not preserving his units, which is a damn shame. Ooh! Oh, Kongstiger, why do you fail? Why you fail me now? Nein! King Tiger should have really... if he had got that shot off, if he had the rate of fire right there, that would have been a pretty decisive impact on to Jove's infantry advantage. And as it stands, though, Jove is just maintaining this infantry advantage. No sweat, but he will lose this, I think. Oh no, he takes out the Panzer Shrek, but yes, he does lose it in the end. Long range snipe from the double Shrek. Panzer. No, they're not. Whenever I say double Shrek, I usually say Panzer Grenadier, but they're not. They're Volksgrenadier. They picked up another Shrek. Anyway, we are seeing the the IL-2 Stromovic come down, strafing infantry only. Just remember that. It says infantry. It will not strafe the King Tiger, just the machine gun. Su-70, not 76, Su-85, very much trying to snipe off that Blue Didou. Succeeds. Raketenwerfer 43 does succeed in the end. No skill plane, sadly. Potentially could have been a skill plane. Oh no, this T-34 is now potential. I mean, what is Jove doing? He needs to be careful. That's a double Shrek squad. Double Shrek at Vet 3 is nothing to whimper at. You do need to be afraid of the double Shrek SU. I mean, double Shrek, I'm so obsessed with Su-76s today. Double Shrek Volksgrenadier. Words are very hard. I think I must reiterate, I do these casts very late at night. In fact, it's 5 AM right now, I think. I do them late at night because I apparently hate sleeping incoherency. Anyway. It also gives me an excuse whenever I make a mistake. It's beautiful. Sight wrong stats? Oh, it's okay. I'm just really tired, you see. Anyway, Mortar is doing work. It's doing a surprising amount of damage. 22 kills. I mean, that's very, very, very good for a Mortar. Usually, I don't expect to see a Mortar doing that well.
We lost a gun crew.
Yeah, he recrews it immediately. I mean, this Kongstiger. Katie needs to pause. Did I say it right? It's a King Tiger, right? Yeah, but Kongstiger is also what it's called, so they're both right. But this King Tiger is what's keeping him in the game, and he needs to be very careful with it. If it gets caught out, he could be in a very poor position. T70. I mean, for most players, I would disagree with that, but I have a feeling he has a plan for it, somehow. Grenade comes out a bit late. King Tiger will escape easy peasy. He needs to be careful about these shoe mines. I mean, very prolific use of the shoe mines from Burmie. It's something I do like. I do like mines. I am very, very much a fan of using mines constantly, using demo traps. It's a shame we haven't seen Jove really exploit the fact that demo traps are crazy OP. But maybe he's just too skilled of a player to fall to such lowly tactics of the plebs. Regardless, we are seeing Burmie's infantry power start to replenish, but he's lost his ability to cap the map. It's a real shame that he's not really capping the map at all, because he had a really strong and only decisive advantage against Jove. He had the economic advantage for most of the game, but now Jove is really just pushing him and unrelentingly holding the flanks. And, you know, I dare say Burmie is a bit tunnel visioned. He's got tunnel vision on center. He really wants to hold it, and it's not playing out well for him. In fact, he's losing units unnecessarily. Almost loses that unit. If RNGesus had been unkind, he would have lost that Strim Pioneer squad, which, may I add, has just come on the field. This King Tiger is taking unnecessarily large amounts of damage. Long range engagement, but there, hit the dirt in green cover there. They're going to be fine, at least until a T-34 arrives to support them, which it has not. T-70. I think the T-70 will head down south. T-70 is actually usually very good, a very good combo to have with the Su-85, but on the other hand, the Su-85 has self-spotting capabilities, so not really. Especially when this kind of makes it, you know, lose its main gun, which is really good against infantry. Oh, I just realized Burmie locks in fortifications doctrine. A bit late for that, Burmie. Though, surprisingly, I'd actually say that no, none of these are really actually useful. Maybe a flak gun costs very cheap amounts of manpower. If I recall correctly, it costs... where is it? If I recall correctly, it costs 210 manpower. I don't know what causes that delay in the game. 250 and 5... Did they change that? Or am I just drunk? Huh, they must have always been like that. Either that or I'm just drunk last time I checked it. I thought it was much cheaper than that. Still, for 250 manpower and 10 fuel, something he's lacking nothing of. Did my game crash? No. Something he's lacking nothing of. I mean, I would consider building just a flat gun here as a linebacker. And then maybe a pack gun if you can. A Pack 43 would deal with the Soviet armor quite nicely as well. I mean, hell, a Pack 43 on its own would be very nice. It would allow the King Tiger to focus on one area and not have to worry about Su-85s. I mean, this is potentially the end of the King Tiger here, I think, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see it escaping from this. It's going to try and blitzkrieg, but the T-34 has gotten onto the flank unless RNGesus is kind. Oh god, RNGesus, are you being kind? RNGesus. RNGesus. Haha, it goes in for the ram. Very smart. It's one of the few situations where a ram is the right maneuver. That has swung the game decisively in Jove's favor. Panzer II is coming... no, cancels. Very smart. I think the only chance Burmie's got is to save up for a second Konchtiger. How lucky will he be with the Shreks? Not lucky enough, it seems. He does need to remember that there is a T-34 there. No, I think he's hoping to catch out the Su-85, but I mean, Jove is not a new player. It's not his first rodeo. He knows that he needs to get it much further back than this forward repair. Like, this is a very aggressive repair. Incendiary grenade goes out on the machine gun. Luckily, Jove spots it, moves out of the way. I mean, the micro is just intense here, and we will see... Ooh, not the double Shrek Volksgrenadier. This is no bueno. I mean, the game has been lost simply by Burmie's lack of unit preservation. He played very cautiously, and he did very well early game, but his late game clearly is showing through as fatigue. He's getting fatigued here. He's not playing at his peak. Burmie, on the other... Jove, on the other hand... Burmie versus Burmie. Jove, on the other hand, is playing an exceptional game. I mean, he's like a champion boxer. His stamina is just carrying him through the game. I mean, Burmie was hitting harder in early game. He was doing decisive economic damage to Jove, but, you know, it doesn't matter because Jove has the stamina, and late game, he isn't making mistakes. Meanwhile, Burmie is making critical mistakes, which is really, really costing him the advantage. Molotov coming out, trying to force it off desperately. Second Molotov, very smart. I think all the attention was focused on one unit, this one. We got the AP MG34 ammo coming across. We got the Konchtiger 2, number 2, hitting the field, trying to push the allies back, and will succeed, but will it be able to really make a lasting impact? That is the question. We have seen the Su-85 Vet 3 now fully repaired. Ooh, but this is a very aggressive play here. Ooh, no. MG gets stopped by his own gun. He's desperately trying to decrew that AT gun. He knows that he needs to thin out the AT herd. But there's so much AT here. And the thing is, he's got no choice but to stay. He's just too low on VPs to really bother retreating. I mean, with that, that's game. There's nothing he can do now. His army is in tatters. His unit preservation shot to hell. I mean, it was a very even fight. It was a very cautious, very slug-off styled game. I do agree, very, very much a slug-off. I do agree with the uploader, but, you know, it really comes down to the fact that late-game Burmie's caution was a bit too strong in mid-game. When he first got the King Tiger out, he didn't really use it as effectively as I'd hoped he would. He used it as a battering ram up to here, and then he kind of didn't go for the killing blow. I'd use some 40k references, but I think we'll keep it to a minimum since the game has just ended. Enough padding for one day. But yeah, I really do think that Jove, like a champion boxer, maintained his stamina, didn't get fatigued late game, kept his unit like, look at all the veteran C3. I mean, his unit preservation was spot on point. Meanwhile, Burmie kind of fell apart in mid-game after that King Tiger push. He pushed to about here with his King Tiger, and when the T-34 was on its last legs, along with the AT gun, easily able to be destroyed by the King Tiger if Burmie was willing to gamble. That's when Jove really made his comeback, and from that point on, it was really just Burmie trying to delay the inevitable. I mean, his mines were great, his mid-game plays were exceptional. I mean, he held an economic advantage despite having his cutoff captured, which is an achievement in and of itself. I mean, holding an economic advantage while you've got your cutoff decapped, you know, it's a feat. It is a feat. Sadly, he wasn't able to really translate that into a late game advantage that stuck. And, you know, Jove is a champion, and we all know that he is amazing, and, you know, it just shows. His stamina, his inability to suffer from fatigue late game is just fantastic. And in my opinion, it really was a competitive game. The one that Burmie was holding the advantages, he had all the cards up until late game, and once it hit late game, went downhill due to a few unit wipes, which cascaded down into, you know, almost no units left. Oh well, happens. So, anyway guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this game. I really do like watching these Jove vs Burmie games because it really comes down to this dance, this awkward, like, game of chess where they're making counter moves against each other. You know, Jove and Burmie both trying to play aggressively or all out. And when they go all out, it just descends into chaos and they're both at each other's throats with the map just being divided, you know, some points over here captured and all cut off and pure chaos. But then on the other hand, then they start to translate that into a cautious, you know, probe and counter probe, you know, a dance of death, really. I said it right the first time. But yeah, fantastic game. I love them. I hope to see more between Jove and Burmie. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to like it and subscribe for more content like this. I will see you on my next video. Until then, I bid you adieu.